The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, some sports concepts and rationalizations. We talked about Jeter on the text line. They said Jeter. Of course, we did talk about Jeter yesterday as well.
I've changed. I'm putting him on.
Yeah, it's hard to leave him off too. So that's what I'm saying. It's just it's a good, fun topic to tackle.
Yeah, that's probably.
And Jeter, by the way, had a ton of impact. I mean, Jeter was the captain.
100%.
Jeter was of the Yankees. So,
I'm not anywhere near that camp of Jeter is overrated that some people reside in.
I'm not either.
Every 100% do. He was
Mr. Clutch.
He drove all those titles. That was him more than Pettit or Clemens or A-Rod or anybody else.
Yeah.
So, they dominated too now. Those Yankees dominated late 90s, early 2000s like the Yankees of old. So I have to. This made me chuckle on the text line.
Okay.
So
I'm
going to read this before we get going into the 10-minute drill.
All right.
But on the we talked earlier in the week about that Carol Baskin. For folks that didn't watch the Joe Exotic Tiger King documentary, a big part of it was this lady who runs one of those cat places down in like the Tampa, Orlando area. And, the salacious, vicious rumor is that she killed her ex-husband and fed him to the tigers.
Yes.
And that's kind of the back and forth in this redneck battle royale that went on Netflix. So as to the appearance on Dancing with the Stars, this Carol Baskins has been invited on Dancing with the Stars, so he wonders, will her first Dancing with the Stars song be Eye of the Tiger or Man Eater? Both. Maybe you could do a meld.
But I'm bummed.
What do you do? What do you call that, a mashup beef? They put them together?
Well done. Here's yesterday there was sort of I don't want to say it's a bombshell, but a lot of talk in college football world because the Penn State athletic doctor came out and said 30 to 35% of Big Ten athletes have shown signs of myocarditis, something along those lines, right? Did you see that?
No.
Okay, anyway, he said, and his name is Wayne Sebastianelli, and he's Penn State's director of athletic medicine, said that around one-third of Big Ten athletes that tested positive for COVID-19 may have myocarditis. He delivered the information during a State College Area Board of School Directors meeting on Monday, and it was reported on by the Center Daily Times. He called the level of inflammation in the studies alarming on Monday, but issued a statement on Thursday, and the headline is, Penn State Athletic Director clarifies myocarditis comments, issues apology for causing confusion. Because if you sit there and say, wait a minute, if the study said if you get COVID, that a third of the people who get COVID, these young athletes, have myocarditis, well, that's a concern, man. Regardless.
Yeah, I don't know what the depths of, or
the
what the reach is, like from subtle to extreme, or that's probably a question to better table for Doc. I guess what we have gravitated from COVID causes myocarditis to it's already there. COVID might just display it.
Well, this is what the statement said. Dr. Sebastianelli was asked by a local school board to discuss high school preparations and precautions for holding sporting events during the pandemic and the potential impact of COVID-19. During his discussions with board members, he recalled initial preliminary data that had been verbally shared by a colleague on a forthcoming study, which unbeknownst to him at the time had been published at a lower rate. The research was not conducted by Dr. Sebastianelli or Penn State. Dr. Sebastianelli wishes to clarify this point and apologize for any confusion. It's like, and again, so you can't really blame the media on this one because it's the doctor's fault. Additionally, some have inferred his comments may have been related directly to Penn State student-athletes. There have been no cases of myocarditis and COVID-19 positives. So that he was wrong. But if you sit there and say something like that, it's going to be a headline, man. In this crazy
correct. There's no
right
little
now.
side comment to the local, medical board that doesn't
think about it, Pross. Let me ask you this, because you tend to be on the, hey, let's play, and, it is what it is. I don't want to put words in your mouth here. But your view on COVID is your view. But if I told you that 35% of young people developed myocarditis if they got COVID.
That would be alarming.
It's alarming, right? That would make you reconsider. That's a huge statement. And you can't get that wrong.
There's been a lot gotten wrong.
I mean, that one kind of blew me away, though. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was the height of what's wrong with dealing with all that. This was how that was inflamed. Like,
but anyway, I'm glad he apologized and clarified, and we can move on. And again, we don't know a lot yet. We're still learning, so proceed with caution. But that's what we're doing. We're proceeding with caution. One other sports topic too that was wrong, and this one was wrong by the media. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Stephen A. Smith, who I enjoy.
White
personally.
privilege?
Yeah. Not when Steve Nash was hired by the Brooklyn Nets yesterday. Mm-hmm. That got a whoa from this show.
Yeah, that's correct.
That was a whoa.
Absolutely.
Now, we come to learn he was an advisor with the Warriors, and basically KD and Kyrie handpicked the coach.
Correct.
That's what happened, okay?
That's right.
And so Stephen A. comes out and goes, I don't know how else to say it. This is 100% the case of white privilege. It never happens with a black man. First off, of the last 16 coaches hired with no NBA experience, 9 of them have been black guys. I know for a fact, being a Knicks fan, of Derek Fisher and Jay Kidd also.
Lose impact.
Things are tense enough right now as is.
Well, and
let's be on point about this.
You lose
stuff.
your effectiveness for things that matter.
Yeah.
When you just dump everything into some privileged racism bin.
Let's be on point when we get these things.
Look, it's not as dangerous as overt racism. But it is dangerous.
No.
To just associate things that don't have an association.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to clear that up too, because I think Stephen A. Smith does a great job. He's the face of ESPN, but you got to be. Hey, come on, man, you're better than that. That's what I would tell you. You're better than that. Do a little.
Well, Steve Nash is. It's not like you just grab some schlep. Steve Nash is, like you said, not only working with the Warriors, but is a 2-time MVP. It was a point guard, a coach on the court.
Yeah, but it's plain and simple. I mean, the plain and simple
reason
is
Durant
and Kyrie wanted him.
And that's what they do.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
got him.
That's what they do in the NBA.
Yeah.
The stars pick coaches, that's for sure. And then they fire them. So buyer beware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Steve Nash.
Okay, so
I got a couple of things here.
Right.
That we've adapted through the course of the pandemic to try and get seasons going. Now, certain things you don't want to linger. They'll never happen again unless we have some emergency like this. And I'm talking about the bubble. Sports with no fans is not the same. We'll put up with it. We enjoy watching it on television. But I'm watching this. I'm watching a lot of the bubble basketball. And it's just, then I'll see a highlight from like last year's finals, and it's amazing with the crowd there. What a difference, appearance it is. But do
you imagine crowds with some of these games that we've been watching in sports?
I think it's the first postseason with only the second time ever that there have been 2 buzzer beater threes to win games. Doncic hit one, and then yesterday Anunoby hit one.
Anunoby, but what about the Raptors 2 years in a row, man? Buzzer beaters.
Oh, yeah. Kawhi hit it last year against the Sixers.
That was so
There's
beautiful,
a couple of things, though, that I wonder if they aren't going to become mainstays because of this. And I'm not talking about the self and hate.
By the way, before you
health
do,
and safety
before
standards.
you do, there's been lots of sporting events where, like, even yesterday in New York, that would have been a wonderful game. Yankees Mets, Seaver passes. New York Mets fans would have poured into that game yesterday.
Sure,
and then the way that the game ended and everything would have been really cool. So those types of games, and there's been just different great endings that you miss.
And you're going to have
fans.
And you're going to have teams in unique situations at the end of the year, and their fans are going to be able to enjoy them. Like, for instance, the Marlins aren't going to get 14,000 strong in there for the playoffs.
That was a shot.
That was a shot.
That was a definite shot.
All right. MLB rules have been changed, though. I to this day, even though some people have warmed up to it, I don't like putting a guy on second. I don't personally.
You don't like that?
It wouldn't kill me if you did it. I don't think you'll ever do that in the postseason, including this year.
Okay.
Postseason, you play it out.
I would say so.
But if you put him on, it does end the games, and it does immediately create drama. So I'm not completely opposed. Do you think that sticks around? Does it get another vote of approval?
I think it'll be debated.
Yeah.
I'm not that. I'm okay with it. Here's why I would think it has a chance. Regardless of why it's happened, there are so many pitchers who are down this year. If you can shorten games in any way, shape, or form, I think a lot of baseball will be like, let's do that.
There's talk of maybe not even both 7, although I would be okay with both 7, but double headers being now a part of the scheduled baseball season. Do you think that'll happen? People seem to be enjoying the 7-inning double headers.
If you go 7. I like 7.
I love the 7-inning double.
I do too. We got another one today. By the way, we're 2-0 on sweeps in those things. So,
by the way, the players love it too.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so you think
I would be okay with
schedule because here's the thing: if you schedule those 7-inning doubleheaders, you build in off days for your players.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Right, it does. If you, how many would you have? How many would you have? Say
8.
5, 8. Okay, so let's say 8's a good number. So 8 of them means that there are 16 games that are 7-inning games, which takes away from
10%.
Starts taking a little bit away from the.
It also starts
statistical world of baseball.
Well, the all-time record books. You're right. They get affected. That's true.
Let's say
back in the day, like we were kids, they had Twilight doubleheaders. But they were 9-inning games.
Let's say you have a 33-game hitting streak, and you come into the doubleheader, and you're playing a 7-8. You get one less at bat.
Those are fair points.
I'm just saying it's just interesting, but
because baseball and those arguments carry more weight in this case because baseball, more than any other sport, relies on its historical statistical significance. It's not the same in other sports.
I do like them.
All right, and the third one would be the DH. That's
I'm all
coming.
for it.
100% for that.
100%.
And I always found myself as a National League guy defending the pitcher hitting almost as if, well, we play it better or different.
Love it.
No, I love it too.
And if you're a good hitting pitcher, you know what? Let the guy DH a game then. Because I'm all for the DH. And it makes your – and I haven't noticed – I haven't noticed it as – like when you watch your team play – I haven't noticed, like, my God, I mean, can't we just get the pitcher up? You know, I don't think it that way. I think of it,
the ninth hitter stinks,
I like this extra hitter we got in the game. You know, this guy wouldn't be playing if there was. So I look at it as a positive. I love it.
All right, now there's one more. This is the one that I think is going to happen, and I hate this one. Okay. They got a free pass this year, but I think we're getting a better glimpse into the mindset of college football stars. They're not all gung ho about playing any year that they don't have to.
Right.
And so I wonder if opt-out becomes a healthy decision and not a COVID-demanded one.
Well, I think that started with the bowl games.
But I'm talking about a whole...
No. But I think this is where it started. It started with the bowl games like McCaffrey, Fournette, and those guys. And wait a minute, why am I going to play in this meaningless bowl game? It kind of started there. And now this has opened up the door for...
gives them an excuse / reason. I don't mean excuse in negative.
No. And there's certain guys, you know, like I said, Jamar Chase... What's the point? If you're Jamar Chase, these are the options. Not play this year, which, you know, I hate. I love playing football. I work my butt off so I can play in these games, but not play this year and be a top 10 pick, or maybe risk a little bit more corona, only play a 10-game schedule, not be on a team that's not nearly as good as it was a year ago. And so I'd rather go out with a bang and wait a year and go to the NFL and make millions. So, yeah, I get it. I think, though, will there be more, you're asking me, starting next year? I don't know. Like Trevor Lawrence would be a guy who could opt out right now, right?
He wouldn't do it. Doesn't do him. I personally, again, this is me. If I'm running an NFL team, I don't hold it against him. I'm not going to overlook talent. I don't like a guy who doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
I like guys who want to play and win.
Yeah, there's been no indication whatsoever. Trevor Lawrence is more of the opposite, which leads me to another topic, which I'll talk about in a second. But Trevor Lawrence is all in on playing this year.
And wants to play.
Look, he's
led the charge if we want to play.
He'd love to be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Sure.
But does he love college football so much that next April, when the hometown team has the first pick...
What?
Does Trevor go ahead and make the announcement, I'm going back to Clemson for my senior year?
I've voiced that before.
Oh, good gracious.
One last thing here. Ronnie Harrison was traded yesterday, Dan, and that's not, it's not like he's some all-pro, but nonetheless, it's a guy you invested in a third-round pick just a couple of years ago. Yeah. And I think what is alarming here is the mouthpieces of the Jaguars stand up to the podium and tell you about how ready they are for new guys, yet the guys that they're trading or releasing last minute are practicing first team the entire time. It doesn't take a brain scientist to see that a lot of lying and hiding and obfuscating is going on here.
Obfuscating.
If you don't,
ladies and gentlemen, stop the press is obfuscating. OBFUSCATING.
Ding.
Well done.
Ding. All right. Here's the deal.
I enjoyed that. You ain't getting that on any other show today, people. That's why he's valedictorian of Puerto Rico High School.
Come on. Let me ask you this.
PRHS.
You want me to go deep conspiracy theory?
PRHS, yes.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Deep conspiracy theory.
I got to stop. Go.
The Jaguars
Yes, sir.
run those guys first team up until the very last minute and let them go so that they can be sure the guys replacing them are not prepared. To make sure you lose the game even more, you're not only giving away your first-team talent, but you're putting a guy in that runs, 8 plays of practice.
The only place you tank is by creating your roster. And it appears that seems to be in effect. I have a Jaguar pop quiz for you now, Jeff Prosser and Steve Butte, if you don't mind, as we wrap up the 10-minute drill.
Wow. A bit within a bit.
Correct.
It's like bitception.
It is. Can you obfuscate these players, Jeff?
I can.
There are Jaguars draft picks still on the roster from 2014 to 2017. There were 31 picks. There are 6 left on the roster.
The problem I run into here is I don't recall who was drafted in
What
17
year?
and 13.
Okay, well, that's fine. You might lose.
All right. I'll
Six
try,
left.
Though. I don't know, is A.J. Khan before then, or is he right on that?
It's a can,
Yeah,
and yes, he is on that.
AJ
15.
Can do.
That is correct.
All right.
Yes, you can.
Brandon Linder.
Brandon Linder, 2014. Yes, correct.
I'm just gonna.
What's the window?
14 to 17.
14 to 17.
6 of the 31 left.
Okay.
It's cheating to look at the roster.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the roster.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think
you
of
can
those
go
years.
through the roster in your head.
Miles Jack.
Miles Jack is correct. That's 3 of the 6. You only need 3 more.
Yeah. From what years to what years?
It's 14 to 17.
Okay.
Jeff, I'm just thinking out loud. Was Dede in
no,
that, or was Dede after that?
17. This is just Dede Westbrook.
Dede Westbrook is correct. That's 4 of the 6. You need 2 more.
Oh,
2
we're on
more.
fire.
Got to think. There's got to be what about
was Cam?
Yeah, so, he's going to his third year. Cam Robinson.
Cam Robinson is the 5th. You need 1 more. 1 more, ladies and gentlemen, for the win.
Smart money's going to be
Brandon Linder, AJ.
Oh, I
Cam
got one. I know it. I got it.
Do it, Jeff.
Smoot.
Smoot is correct. 6 of the 31 named. There you go.
That's why you listen to the drill with your Jaguar experts.
Either that or obfuscate. I don't know. Either one is
Well, that
fine.
would hide the meaning of the drill. We're not doing that. We're being crystal clear about it. It's an All-American Friday. Here's what's crystal clear. 1 call, that's all. You get tired of calling someone to either inquire about business or to get a question answered, and you go into this nonstop hold cycle, sometimes for hours at a time. Not with All-American Roll-Off and Recycling, the largest family-owned waste company in North Florida. 1 call, that's all. No wait times, no automated systems. 503-1430 or all-americanrolloff.com.
Give me a number, Danny.
Let's do caller number 2 at 641-1010 and tell them what they're going to win, Beef.
Caller number 2 right now, 641-1010, going to go home with a floral arrangement delivered by Kuhn Flowers and a $25 gift certificate from Donato's Pizza. So call now.